This game is set in 1937, and the story starts at Marshall College, with someone breaking in to steal what seems to be a random artifact. This leads Indy down a rabbit hole, involving something called the Great Circle. This is actually a real navigational term that refers to the shortest distance between 2 points on a globe. In the game, they found that if you connect certain ancient wonders of the world, they form a perfect circle that would split the Earth in half. The main bad guy thinks there's some ancient power connected to this, and him being a Nazi archaeologist, you can bet he's not exactly planning to put it in a museum. Now in this game, despite playing as Indy, you also team up with Gina, and she's an Italian journalist. She's got her own stake in this, because her sister has gone missing, and she's pretty convinced this is somehow connected. The gameplay is primarily first person, but switches to third person for certain scenes, to show Indy in action. Now I think it is pretty clear that they have put a ton of work into making sure Troy Baker captures Harrison Ford's mannerisms. They actually gave him access to Lucasfilm's archives to study Ford's movements and expressions, and the game motion captured a professional whip master in Sweden to get the whip mechanics right. And speaking of mechanics, they are trying to avoid the typical first-person shooter approach. I mean, yes, of course, you've got Indy's revolver, but the game actually discourages you from using it, because there's this system where enemies pretty much match your approach. So if you start throwing out some punches, then they will fight hand to hand, but pull out your gun and everyone else will as well. They've made the combat intentionally chaotic, and you can use practically anything as a weapon. The whip itself isn't just for fighting either, but also for traversal, solving puzzles, and creating distractions. Instead of a typical skill tree, you find adventure books while exploring, and these give you new abilities that actually make sense for Indy, like the Lucky Hat ability, for example. If you're wearing the iconic fedora outfit and are about to die, you basically get a second chance. Another one makes the whip better for stealth. These books are hidden throughout the world, so exploration likely pays off. The game takes us all over the place. The Vatican, Egypt's pyramids, temples in Thailand, the Himalayas, and apparently more. They have put attention into making these places feel authentic to the 1930s. Like in Thailand, for example, they said they studied how the ruins would have actually looked like back then. The levels are not supposed to be super linear either. You've got what they call bombastic roller coaster sections for the big story moments, but also open areas where you can explore freely. And they said that they have made sure that these areas are not just full of random collectibles. You should be able to stumble upon a hidden tomb, for example. The puzzle system looks pretty clever and authentic. Firstly, you can adjust puzzle difficulty separately from combat difficulty, similar to Silent Hill 2. You've got a camera that can help with puzzles by revealing clues or providing hints if you're stuck. There's also Indy's journal, which starts empty but fills up with your discoveries, maps and photos as you progress. In terms of stealth, there are no silent takedowns like you would find in Assassin's Creed. You always need some kind of item to knock someone out, and as far as I have seen, it always makes noise. Sometimes that noise is fine, if you can handle the consequences, or maybe you can use your whip to disarm the other guard first. It's all about being resourceful, just like Indy. Now, based on some insider information, the expected length of the story is approximately 12 to 14 hours, but take that with a grain of salt for now. The focus here seems to be on making you feel like you're actually playing as Indy, rather than just playing a generic action game with an Indiana Jones skin. And that sentence concludes today's video. If your time was respected, a like or comment is very much appreciated.